Hi everyone. Habaragani, UJAMAA, Cooperative Economics. So I'm going to start a little bit differently today because I feel a need to respond. If you haven't already seen Queen Auset's video today for day 4 of Kwanzaa, may I recommend going to watch it, and I'll tell you why. I almost don't know where to begin. She offers herself and her authenticity and her wisdom and her heart in that video today in a way that, you know, is just, it tells you pretty much everything you need to know about who she is. Really, you know, under the surface, underneath it all. Queen, I want to thank you for your honesty this morning. I really, I feel that I understand you in a way today that I have never really understood you before. And you asked the other day, maybe day 2, I think, you asked the question, what was your first impression of me? And my first impression of you was one of just awe, total power, total poise, heart, wisdom, gentleness, honesty, authenticity, and admiration. It was the first thing that came up. I just admired you entirely and I thought, wow, I want to be just like her. And that's the truth. That was really my first impression. So, cooperative economics really sunk in today in a way that it never has before. The ways in which we all work together, the ways in which our attitudes and our mindsets really dictate, how we function as a community. Queen, I loved your comparison to Girl Scout cookies, talking about how you have to just have courage and put yourself out there and go ask for what you want or ask for what you need, and go and get it. And, in this video, Queen offers an anecdote from a journal where, she talked about being in a place 5 years ago that was completely different. And last year, I guess, 2019, it feels like it is almost 2 years ago, but I was very much in that place. I had very little, very, very little. And I was struggling, and I also had to reach out to friends for help, and family and so forth. And it was a nightmare. It was really painful. Some of you have been around long enough remember that. And one day, in the middle of all of that, this amazing package arrived. Amazing. And inside of it were these amazing, beautiful treasures. Absolutely gorgeous. things that I had spoken of really having a need for, or an affection for, a desire for, an interest in, just appeared. All in one box. Cooperative economics. There was also a really beautiful blue, light blue, sky blue colored scarf that I use mostly as a spread cloth when I'm reading in public. So it's in my tarot bag, which unfortunately has been stored away because nobody's reading in public right now. So sharing, offering, freely giving, in the beginning of that video for today, Queen spoke about the 2 words. Sometimes it's just 2 words. Thank you. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. So I'm going to take a moment and go ahead and pull my cards for today's spread, and I will be back. Today's spread prompts are wonderful. This is, again, these are from last year. I just had them written down, so I've been pulling them back up. So question 1, I'm using the Hoodoo Tarot again because I love how it reads. It's so clear and succinct, and so here we are. I felt like this was a good one because it just cuts through any bullshit, and it's very informative, and that's really what I need, because this is an area where I can get lost in the woo, right? And I really wanted a grounded reading for looking at cooperative economics. So card 1, my current state of financial self-sufficiency, is the 2 of Sticks. And that's completely accurate. Yeah, I mean, there's self-sufficiency and it's temporary. You know, I need to look at the horizon, examine the landscape, contemplate what it is that I'm going to do next. You know, I'm between clients, or between, big gigs, or, I'm at a moment of standstill, but I have enough money right now to remain independent for a little while, but it's not going to be long. So yeah, I have been resisting the urge to jump in and move forward before I'm ready, but all economics is cooperative. We're never operating on an island. We're never alone. It's always about cooperation. So how do I want to tap that? How do I want to work with that? How do I want to move forward? Is very much where I am right now. So there's our first card. Position 2 asks my current belief about my own economic power. Now this was interesting. Again, this deck likes to spit cards out. Sometimes it's like, don't bother shuffling. We know the answer to this. Here it is. And this time it spat 3. So the first one it threw out was the 8 of Coins, which I feel is again, to me feels very obvious. It's about hard work. This particular root worker depicted is thought of as being especially competent and gifted, according to the book. And, so he's applying his hard work and his efforts towards brainstorming, thinking, planning, looking at what's next, surveying the possibilities again, but in a very pragmatic sense, with the idea of moving forward. Now, along with it, and I think this is much more interesting, the next card that popped was the moon, or Pa. And McQuillar says something very interesting here about Pa. Where are we? We're at this one. She writes, what I found most useful here, when Pa appears in a reading, you're being asked to consider that you might not know everything there is to know about the situation at hand. So there may be things that are going to come up that I haven't, that will influence what I do next, and will influence my financial security that I haven't been able to see yet, right? Something else I underlined from this section in the book, sometimes you must seek truths that have been intentionally veiled or obscured by darkness to protect them, right? So sometimes, sometimes the things that we need to know that will help us move forward are sort of buried. The Tibetan tradition works with that a lot. Certainly the one part of it that I work in, there are things known as termas, and that's spelled Terma. A terma is a practice that's been, buried or encoded into the landscape or encoded into an object, and the right person picks it up and it's revealed to them. So that's interesting to me too, because I just had a reading very recently with Julianne Victoria. She's an amazing astrologer. If you're looking for a really, really good astrologer who will just lay it out there and give it to you straight, she's brilliant. I love getting readings with her. She did my Vedic astrology for my birthday. And, the big thing that's interesting to me in Vedic astrology is that I've got to move towards the occult even further, and go more and more deeply into spirituality, the occult, teaching, and so forth. And I feel like this card is telling me, you can think and plan and prepare to work hard. Remember, you won't get all of it right away. There's still some space and time here that has to take place. Some of it will be revealed to you. It has not been revealed yet, right? We're waiting for further information to come forward, but don't panic because it's all going to work out. With the Six of Sticks, it will come out to be, it'll be victorious in the end. It'll come out okay. So that was position 3, or position 2 rather, with 3 cards. Position 3 is my current attitude to communal economics. And this is 100%. That's it. 6 of Coins. There we go. It's all about give and take. We're never doing this in a vacuum. It's not a vacuum. We're always giving and receiving. We're in a process of offering and taking. It's really the way things work, and that's nice. It's nice to see that that's reflected as like, well, this is how you see things, because that's definitely true. This was a big jumper as well. I think I picked up the deck and did one overhand shuffle, and this one jumped. So then we move on to position 4. How can I improve my financial self-sufficiency? This may seem very curious, and I'm prepared to read the meaning for this card because I think it's so informative. So this is it this one? Yeah. Okay, so I have all my little bookmarks and things in here, but they move around. Okay, so this one says, a wounded person lies against a bottle tree with broken bottles as a stray dog urinates on their loved one's grave. Triple ouch. The Southern tradition of creating bottle trees is an Africanism from the Congo people who believed that spirits could reside in bottles. The idea was to capture any negative spirits and allow the sunlight to destroy them at dawn. The crepe myrtle tree grows throughout the South and was considered sacred by many root workers because it represents rejuvenation and God's promise to the faithful. So, again, when we look at cards, 1, 2, and 3, we're still in the realm of things that are not yet material, right? So we're still dealing in the realm of feelings, emotions, ideas, etc. And because we're dealing with knives or swords and the mind, and on an energetic level, let's see, what was the how I can improve my financial self-sufficiency. I feel like what this one is trying to tell me, right? So the meaning behind this one, she writes, for positive: pain subsiding, resurrection, people who are determined to survive, renewed optimism, reconciliation, seeking help for emotional problems, learning how to cope, accepting an apology only when you're ready, improved health, overcoming depression, healing, and the worst being over. The negative is heartbreak, emotional trauma, betrayal, rejection. I mean, it goes on, right? We know about these. So I feel like improving financial self-sufficiency is letting go of any grief that I have, any fear that I have, any any doubt, any self-doubt, any neurosis, anything that's potentially just an unhappy or negative leftover from any point in my life, right? Where I've been in a similar position and been worried or upset or scared. Don't let that, if that emotion comes up, don't let it influence moving forward. Process the emotion and then let it go. Process it, let it go, let it move on. You can survive this. There's every reason to have renewed optimism. This is, if anything, these first three positions have made that clear. So I think that also helps clarify why this card is there. Moving on, we've got 5. Okay, so position 5, how can I improve my beliefs about my economic power? This was helpful. So McQuillar uses, with the quartz, she's working very much with a Thoth-based approach here. So the sun or the knight is the final card. This one tells me this is absolutely it. Be optimistic. Use my gifts. This is an interesting one. This boy has polydactylism, so he's 6 fingers. And in root working, things like this were regarded, as physical attributes that were unusual are regarded as being a gift that indicates an increased ability to do the root work. So I feel too that this is telling me use any special gifts that you have. Work with inspiration, be willing to receive, inspiration, be the magician. Also just enthusiasm too, that to me as well. This is enthusiasm that just is sparked up, passion, inspiration. If I work from it's so funny to me, none of these have anything to do really directly, aside from the 6 of coins, with money in an obvious way, which is often the case. And I'm often told that just go with what your interests are, be yourself, work with your highest calling, and the money will be there. Don't worry. So this one really kind of highlights that for me. Yeah, how can I improve my beliefs about my economic power? Do what you love. Do it with enthusiasm. Use your gifts and apply them. So, very straightforward. Position 6, the best way I can contribute financially to my local community. Again, this one was interesting. So this came out as the 7 of baskets. And this is a woman in a bathtub. Or a person, yeah, it's a woman. There's her upper body, and her legs are down here, and she's prepared a cleansing bath to restore clarity and equilibrium. There was something in the book that I wanted to throw out there. I'm hoping not to have to edit this today because it's the full moon, so there's a lot happening. Let's see. Right. So the meaning here, the positive meaning is visionaries, realists, restored clarity, having multiple options, people with vivid imaginations, and meditation. So I feel like this is about restoring clarity. So in order to know how best I can contribute financially to my local community, I feel like I need to look at the options that are available after I've managed to restore some mental clarity, and see what's available. And I feel like I'm going to have multiple possibilities or opportunities for being able to do that, but that having a still, clear mind is going to be what's necessary to know how to discern what's, where things are best placed. So there we go. And then finally, this was a very interesting card that I would not necessarily have expected, right? Number 7, how may I best build cooperative networks and systems? Miss Ida, the High Priestess, is what came up. Miss Ida is a difficult person to find a lot of biographical information about on the Google. You really do have to look for books. You have to do deeper searches to find more information about her. Her life is amazingly humbling to read about. From a tiny girl, she learned, she's just an old soul. She's clearly an old soul. So she was able to sit in complete silence for days at a time, in prayer and reflection in order to be blessed with gifts, and to have spirits come and speak with her. So when I looked again, I like always when I'm reading for myself, just to go back to the book, when Miss Ida appears in a reading, you're being advised to slow down and consult your inner voice regarding the matter at hand. Everyone is forced to wait sometimes, but very few know how to do so while remaining at peace. Miss Ida asks you to stop sighing and tapping your foot as you wait for the light to turn red to green. Do you know what might be down the road that could be harmful to you? Page turn. Or harmful to you or others if you make a move now just because you feel like moving? No, you don't. Miss Ida is telling us it's best to stop that foolishness and do something constructive in the meantime. Go within. If you receive Miss Ida in a reading, consider the following. Trust your intuition. Let go and let God. Are you being impatient or forcing the issue unnecessarily? Pay attention to your dreams and visions. Everyone has a dark side. Are you aware of how yours works? Call your mother or mother figure. Seek and embrace the mysteries. Does the unknown thrill or frighten you? Why or why not? So that is fascinating. And it really goes along with this 2 of Sticks here, which is my current state of self-sufficiency, of financial self-sufficiency. Pausing, surveying, looking. Again, I can apply myself here and do some hard work, but ultimately I've got to wait. There's still things that have to come forward before things can be, victorious and move forward in that way. I've still got some, this 3 of Knives, I've still got some things to release and let go. The Son of Sticks, even though that's a knight, he's still. He's not moving. The 7 of Baskets is taking a bath. A lot of this is just go within, go within, go within. And that really has been where I have been lately, is going within, spending time. Oh, wow. I didn't even think of this. This just occurred to me. A lot of the practices that I've been doing lend themselves to healing. So they're Buddhist practices. They are intended to, ultimately they're intended to enlighten the practitioner, right? But they're not only for that. They exist as a means of healing on very deep levels, but always through sitting still and being still, or working through prayer, working through meditation. So I wonder if part of the building of networks is, and cooperative networks and systems could be about really about working with spirit, allowing and trusting the other side, I guess, or the unknown, the unseen, to come and bring people who need me to me, for for work, either with healing or as a doula, or as a teacher. It may also mean going more deeply in order to do that work. So I may find that I'm being asked to sit at home, and be offered to, in order to sit still and work that way. I wonder too if it's about setting up like teaching people to meditate, possibly, and bringing people together through stillness and meditation as a practice. Because I do tend to find that when people sit together in stillness, something is created in and amongst us that keeps us wanting to function together and work together, which would definitely lend itself to cooperative economics. With the yin, there's so much yin energy here. I wonder if some of this is also just being about being still and trusting, that I can be open to receive. Yeah. Although this is much more active. But I guess the activity, putting the activity forward, is, being willing to plan and work hard with things that I feel passionate about. Yeah, and that having that clarity, trusting in my current beliefs about how shared economics work, which I do, I trust it. It's worked every time. Will ultimately bring my finances together. Wow. All right. Well, that's what I got today, everybody. May we all come together. May we all come together. May we all recognize the value, the inherent value of operating as one, and knowing that we're part of a bigger network and a bigger system than we can really even fathom entirely. Habaragani UJAMAA. See you tomorrow. Bye.